Chapter 1. Computer Languages. In this chapter, you will learn about program and programming, machine language, assembly language, working of CPU, third generation language, fourth generation language. A system of communication that uses words and symbols in a conventional way is called a language. We use language to convey our thoughts to other humans. Now, likewise, to express ourselves to a computer, we need some sort of language to communicate. A computer needs commands for everything done with it. A set of commands in a series which tell the computer what actions to execute in order to carry out a process is called a program. A formally constructed set of instructions, complete with vocabulary and syntax, designed to communicate with the computer to execute specific tasks, is called computer programming. The languages which communicate with the computer are thereby classified as shown in the given flowchart. Computer languages, compiler interpreter, low-level language, assembly language, machine language, high-level language, third generation language, fourth generation language. Now let's read about the languages in detail and study some of their major features. Fact file. The first important algorithmic language was Fortran, formula translation, designed in 1957 by an IBM team led by John Backus. Machine language. Machine language is the programming language that can be directly understood and obeyed by a machine computer without translation. It is different for each type of CPU. We also call it machine code, and it is written in strings of ones and zeros. When this sequence of codes is fed to the computer, it recognizes the codes and converts them into electrical signals and executes the instructions. For example, a program instruction may look like this: 1011 000 111101. In this language, 0 means the off state and 1 means the on state. There are various advantages and disadvantages of this language. Advantages: it has very low memory utilization. It has very high speed since it doesn't require any translation for the CPU. Disadvantages: it is very difficult to program in machine language. The programmer has to know details of hardware to write a program. The programmer has to remember a lot of codes to write a program, which results in programming errors. It is difficult to debug the program and is very inefficient for the programmers. It is also called the low-level language or the first generation language. Fact file. John W. Turkey was the first person to use the term software. Assembly language. It represents the first step towards improving the programming structure, but it is yet another low-level language. You should know that a computer can handle numbers and letters. Therefore, some combination of letters, mnemonics, can be used to substitute the zeros and ones of machine codes. It is considered to be the second generation language. The set of symbols and letters forms the assembly language, and a translator program is required to translate the assembly language into machine language. This translator program is called assembler. Source code is the program written in assembly language. When this program is converted into the machine language, it is called the object code. Writing programs in this language is time-consuming. Fact file. Programs called quines can create replicas of themselves not by copying but by assembling. Advantages. The program of assembly language is relatively easier to understand and saves a lot of time and effort for the programmer as it uses mnemonics. It is easier to correct errors and modify program instructions. Assembly language has the same efficiency of execution as the machine-level language because this is one-to-one translation between an assembly language program and its corresponding machine language program. Disadvantages. One of the major disadvantages is that assembly language is machine dependent. A program written for one computer might not run on other computers with different hardware configuration. That is, the program written in this language is machine dependent. Fact file. Developed in 1937 and tested in 1942, the first electronic digital computer, the Atanasoff Berry computer, ABC, was designed to solve linear equations. Third generation language, 3GL. Following the disadvantages of the low-level languages, the programmers needed something more convenient to work with. The two major disadvantages they wanted to counter with this development were machine dependency and inefficiency on account of learning. Higher-level languages are simple languages that use simple English vocabulary and mathematical symbols like new, print, delete, plus, minus, percentage, slash, etc. for their program construction. For example, C, Java, C++, Pascal, Java, Fortran, BASIC, etc. Advantages. High-level languages make writing portable code easier as it uses the language we use regularly. Works indifferently on all CPUs. Disadvantages. Functional programming is not very efficient. Many of the complications inherent to low-level programming are not present in high-level languages. As a result, the developers don't get top-notch efficiency in high-level languages. They tend to be slower than the low-level languages. Hence, executing a program is time-consuming. Fact file. The first computer programmer was a female named Ada Lovelace. Now, to translate the third generation language into machine language, two translator programs are used. 1. Interpreter. This translator program facilitates conversion of high-level language into the machine language step by step. It converts line by line, that is, a line is converted only after the previous is converted and the instruction is executed. But the converted program is not storable. So, every time each action is repeated, thus slowing down the speed of programming in this language. The errors found meanwhile are to be removed as they are discovered. For example, a student new to a mathematical concept will need a teacher to explain everything bit by bit, and he might ask questions if and when he doesn't understand some concept. 2. Compiler. The execution with this program is very quick as it converts the whole program at the same time from the high-level language to machine language. It reports all the errors in a document together. 4th generation language, 4GL. Attempts are being made to make collaborating with computers as close to the processes of thinking and talking to people as possible. The difficulty is that the computer still only understands zeros and ones, so a compiler or interpreter must convert the source code into the object code that the computer can understand. 4th generation languages characteristically consist of English-like words and phrases and thus use an English-like syntax to simplify software development. Some popular 4GLs are PHP, Perl, SQL, Clipper, etc. Fact file. Steve Russell programmed the first computer game, Space War. Advantages: have friendly interfaces, easier to use than older high-level languages, linked to the English language, so reduces the level of programming efforts. Disadvantages: less flexible than other languages, highly sophisticated technology required for using it. Summary. Programming is the craft of writing a set of instructions using standard vocabulary and syntax to communicate with the computer to perform meaningful tasks. A computer needs to translate any other language into machine language. Machine language only consists of binary digits, zeros and ones for writing of the programs. The two translator programs for high-level languages are known as interpreters and compilers. Syntax are the rules which govern the formation of instructions in a programming language.